Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. This video is going to be books that I want to prioritise this year, books that I really want to get to this year that I just didn't get to last year because last year I didn't read a lot, I didn't have a lot of time for reading, so this is the year that I really want to make a good dent in books that I want to get to. Now, I have compiled a list of 12 because there's 12 months of the year, so average out one book a month, and I would like to do a mixture of reading for the first time and rereading. So I've split it in half essentially. So half the books that I'm going to show you are going to be brand new books to me, half of them are going to be rereads. There is one rule, and the rule is they have to be books already on my shelves. So that means books that come out later this year, if I already have them, great, that counts. If I don't already have them, then it doesn't count. I already have to own them. So follow the rule. The first book that I'm going to show you certainly follows the rule, and that is this one. This is My Life and I by Betty Bendel, Confessions of an Unliberated Housewife, 1966 to 1980. This is published by Handheld Press, and this I was very, very kindly sent for review. I'm very excited to read this. This comes out in May, the 2nd of May, 2023. Very excited to get to it. This is a collection of stories. So Betty Bendel was an author. She was a columnist. She wrote in newspapers and magazines like Good Housekeeping, etc. And she writes with a lot of humour about, from a female perspective, of all different things of life. It's quite a good book in terms of social perspectives, which I'm very much looking forward to. And I think there's like 80 odd little stories in here. 87, some with absolutely wonderful, wonderful titles. One is called Living Room Overhaul. Another one is called Tights. There's one called Deeply Cleansed. And they're all from the 60s and the 70s and 1980 itself. There's one called A Cure for the Blues, one called Happy Families. That's nice. And there's another one called Weekend Diggers. There's one called Dressmaking. Looking forward to reading that one. They're just one called Keeping Fit. They're just little short stories, if you will, that appeared in magazines and newspapers of the 60s and the 70s and 1980 itself from a humorist perspective. And I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. And my plan is to pick up 1, 2, maybe 3 a day, and then just slowly work my way through the 80 odd stories I'm sure will fly by. And I'm very, very excited to read these because I think these will just be wonderful, and if I'm having a bit of a down day, I think this will certainly perk me up. The next book that I want to get to is Sally Ann by Susan Scarlett. So if you watch my favourite books of 2022, you will know that Susan Scarlett did certainly appear. You'll have to go watch that video to see which books and what position. But I love books from 30s, 40s as Susan Scarlett was writing, and particularly books on fashion or beauty, and Sally Ann certainly covers that. This book is from 1939 and it's about cosmetics, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I will vlog my reading experience of this because I have done with all my other Susan Scarletts, and I feel like I've started a little tradition now that I want to keep going. The next book that I want to get to is Patricia Wentworth's The Amazing Chance. This is from her really early days of writing. This is from 1926. I have no idea what it's about. All I know is this is one of Patricia Wentworth's standalones, and I have read all her Miss Silver novels, and I'm slowly working my way through the standalones, that's the word. Some are hits, some are miss for me, because some are the kind of cozy, what's cozy about murder? Some are, you know, the type of books that I really, really enjoy, which is the traditional murder mystery. Some are more bordering on kind of supernatural, and it's not my thing, but we'll see how I go with this one. And then the other 3 new books to me are all books that have a historical theme. You know, I love my history. Starting off, I have Dangerous Lady by Amy Licence. This is Amy Licence's first historical fiction novel. I had been putting this book off. I received this book very kindly from my birthday from my brother and his family. But I've been putting off reading it because the next one in the series, I think that's that's just come out in paperback. So otherwise I'd have to wait quite a long time, and I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait. So I feel like if I read this now and then I really want to get the next one, I can do, because it's available. This is set in 1527, so we are at the court of Henry VIII. Henry is married to Catherine, however he's also courting Anne Boleyn, and it's going to be all that court drama that we're going to get caught up in, and I'm hopefully going to love it, because I love her non-fiction. And actually, Amy Licence has written 2 non-fiction books, one on Catherine of Aragon and one on Anne Boleyn. She's written loads of non-fiction, but they're 2 that I think are really wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she does with her fiction. Speaking of historical fiction, Alison Weir, In the Shadow of Queens, Tales from the Tudor Court. So this is a collection of stories that go in between the 6 Tudor Queens series. When I went to Cheltenham Literature Festival one time, I've been many a time, but I went once, and it was on Catherine of Aragon, the first book in the 6 Tudor Queens series. And there Alison said about these e-short books that you can get and you can read, and they go in between the books. And so for the first few books I was doing that, but they were like 99p or 1.99. It was soon adding up, but also then my Kindle stopped working, so but it's nice to have a physical copy to go with my, you can't see them anymore because these beautiful dolls are in the way, but I don't mind. But I'm really excited to get to this one. My copy is signed because I got it at Cheltenham Literature Festival, so it says To Verity, which is me. All, is that Good Wishes? I'm not sure, but yeah, looking forward to reading that. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I might just binge them all, or do it like the Betty Bendel book and read, like, put it on the side and read like one every day or so. And then last but not least, for my fresh books, I have Anne Boleyn and Elizabeth I, The Mother and Daughter Who Changed History by Tracy Borman. This I was very kindly sent from the publisher, which is Hodder, so thank you Hodder for sending it me. This comes out in May 2023, and I am so excited for this book. I really want to start reading this book, but I'm still currently reading a non-fiction at the moment, so I'm putting off, but I'm so excited to get to this. So this, I'm surprised, hasn't been done 10 million times before, because it's such a good idea. This is a book, non-fiction, about the relationship between Elizabeth I and her mother Anne Boleyn, and the very small time that they had together, because of course Elizabeth was not even 3 by the time her mother was executed. But then also about how Elizabeth then surrounded herself with the people of her mother, the Boleyns, etc., and things that she did for her mother. So, for instance, I've read the first little bit, and the first little bit talks about the beautiful ring that Elizabeth had and she wore, which when you open it has 2 portraits in. One is certainly of Elizabeth, and the other is believed to have been of Anne Boleyn, and that's a lovely way to start. And yes, I'm so excited to read this. I'm not sure, let me know if you'd like a vlog of me reading this, or if you just want a review of this, let me know. But yeah, really excited to read that. So these are 6 brand new books that I want to get to. Now on to my rereads. So the first 2 that I want to talk about are actually not 2 books, they're 2 authors. And that is because I'm not actually quite sure what books by them I would like to get to again. So the first is my beloved Agatha Christie. I love Agatha Christie so much. I'm part of 2 Agatha Christie reading groups. Love. One of which I actually have a hand in saying what books we read, which is great, but we've already read my favourites. and so I really want to get to books that I just love. So I'm thinking at the moment Sad Cypress. I'm really craving Sad Cypress, like really craving it. 5 Little Pigs, Miss McGinty's Dead. They're my Poirot that I'm like itching to read again. Miss Marple, I really want to get to A Caribbean Mystery and Nemesis again, and I want to read them together. So literally put down A Caribbean Mystery, pick up Nemesis. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm thinking. But with Agatha Christie, there's so many that you can get to. So you know, who knows? I might also chuck in Parallel End House as well, because I do really enjoy reading that again. Anyway, the other author that I really want to get to again, but I'm not sure which books as of yet, just see what the mood takes me, because I'm such a mood reader, is Patricia Wentworth, who I spoke about earlier, but her Miss Silver series. So Miss Silver series is over 30 books, starting in the 1920s and finishing in 1960, because that's when Patricia Wentworth passed away. And I love the books so much, and for me they're still so underread, and I think if you like Miss Marple, you'll like the Miss Silver books. And there are some that have really stuck in my mind that I would really like to read again. The Chinese Shawl, great. Possibly that one to start with. And then things like The Water Splash, The Gazebo, Pilgrim's Rest, Fingerprint. There's quite a few that, you know, I really enjoyed and would like to get to again. So yeah, at the moment I'm not sure which ones I'll be picking up, but yeah, Latter End as well. I really enjoyed Latter End, and I quite like to get to that again. Anyway, I'm waffling. I could waffle about Patricia Wentworth and Agatha Christie all day. So yeah, they're authors that I'd like to get to again. Then actual single books. So starting with this one. This is Less Than Angels by Barbara Pym in this beautiful new edition. Isn't it stunning? I am very slowly replacing my older Barbara Pym copies with these new ones, because these are just so beautiful. And I have to say I do prefer them to the older ones. Sorry. So I love Barbara Pym so much, as you know. I've spoken about Barbara Pym so much. Completely deserved. And I love how so many of you, when I was saying I didn't really know when my place was still here, so many of you had said that you wouldn't have found Barbara Pym if it wasn't for my videos. I'm like, thank you, because she's so good, and she definitely deserves, you know, to be out there. So this was originally from 1955. I think I've only read this once, maybe twice, but I am very slowly rereading all the Barbara Pyms, and this is the next one that I need to get to again. So really looking forward to reading that one, because I just love Barbara Pym. Her writing is just exquisite, isn't it? I also want to get to again Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day by Both Watson. This is, if push comes to shove and I have to say a favourite book, this is it. This is from 1938. It is illustrated. There's all my notes on it. Do you know what? I've done lots of notes on it, but I don't think I have actually done a review of this. I don't think. It's illustrated. It's very funny, and I didn't get to it last year, and I really want to get to it again. So pick up my favourite book. My other favourite book. You know, if you're jabbing me with a stick, what's your second favourite book? The very elusive Designs by Joe by Elizabeth Ann Loring. This is a book from 1939. No, it's not. It's earlier. Ignore me, because this is an original edition. 1936. Yeah, this is 1936, about a woman called Josephine who sets up her own fashion design business. Oh, lovely. And again, I didn't get to that last year, and I would like to get to it again. I think I've read that. Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, I've read, I can't tell you how many times I've read that book. So many. I own it in 3 copies, because I own that edition. I own it in the grey. And I don't know if you can see there, that's the audiobook of it. So, which I did try listening to, but it's Frances McDermott who in the film played Miss Pettigrew, but it's in her own accent, and I think is she American? And I just preferred, because I don't know why. I don't know why it's not in an English accent. But I couldn't do it. But I have it. I have it for the collection. I would love, I mean, I will never get it because I have seen them go for thousands. But if one day, imagine in a charity shop, they just turned up this original copy of Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, I'd be like. And then Designs by Joe, I have read 2, maybe 3 times. Designs by Joe. I've definitely read it at least twice. And maybe 3 times, not 100% sure. And then last but not least, I have this very beautiful copy of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes by Annie Lewis. So Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, it probably won't surprise you, but I love Marilyn Monroe, like so many people, and my favourite film of her is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I've watched that so many times. I've read the book once. And the film was on Christmas Day. I thought Christmas Day TV was rubbish. Anybody else agree? But on, I think it was BBC Two, they had, was it 2 Marilyn Monroe films? We actually went during the second one, so but the first one was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, because it was the King's Speech and then Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and I was like, yes. Not the King's Speech as in the film, as in our King did a speech. He does a speech at 3 o'clock. So yeah, we watched that and then Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and I was having a great time because I was just singing away, and I just love it so much. And I've watched the film so many times, but to only read the book once, naughty. And then my other half said, I want to buy you a book. And on eBay, I managed to find this. I've been after this for quite a while. It's the lovely Folio Society edition. Now, it was all wrapped up, but of course I got it out to have a look-see in it. It does still have its lovely original illustrations in it. I do already own a copy of this, but it's one of the Penguin, where are they? It's one of the Penguin black spine ones. So that copy, I have Gentlemen Prefer Blondes but Gentlemen Marry Brunettes. So I'll probably reread that and then possibly go to that copy to read But Gentlemen Marry Brunettes, because that's really good too. But look how beautiful it is. And actually on eBay I won it for like £9 something, plus postage, I have to admit. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful, stunning edition. It's not one which has a sleeve, that is how it comes. So yeah, those are all the books that I hope to get to in 2023. I'm very, very excited. Let me know what books you will be prioritising this year, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye for now.